What's up, bikers? I'm Johnny Thompson from Fit for Racing. This is Adam Brayton, Pro Downhiller, and this article is all about squats for MBR. There's a written article in there about 3 types of squats, and we're going to dissect those and show you how to do them properly. It's a goblet squat, a back squat, and a front squat, and we're going to explain what positions to be in to be safe and how to execute that and get the best out of those squats to help you become a better rider. We're looking at the goblet squat here. This is a weighted squat. It doesn't have to be a lot of weight held on your chest. The reason we're doing this as a number 1 squat and not an air squat with no weight is because it actually helps you position. Often, with tight ankles, it's difficult to get your knees far forwards, which really affects the mechanics of the squat up above. By holding this weight, it'll counterbalance you to allow your hip to get nice and low and get more range through the hip, which will ultimately get a better, healthy hip with more strength through more range, and that will then help you on your bike. So with the goblet squat, the weight is held on your chest. You can use anything for this. Adam's got a 16 kilo kettlebell, which is good for high volume. If you look, his knee's tracking the direction of his toe, and he's getting as deep as he can whilst maintaining the curve in his lower back. So the most important thing about these squats is maintaining core stability and not changing the natural direction of your spine. So if you look at Adam's position here, he's braced through the midline, obliques are turned on to stabilize this natural curve, and he's got a good hip below knee position. What you often hear is people saying that this is a movement requirement, a standard of depth. This is obviously a really deep squat, but what's happened is he's really rounded his back here, which then doesn't just mean it's unsafe, but it means that it's not very good for the muscles in the hips that we're trying to work. So if you want to be a better rider and you're doing really terrible squats through your spinal position, it doesn't actually change the angle of your hip. It may look deeper, but it's just compromised your spine and your midline, and then you don't get all of the athletic benefits of the squat through the hip. The next squat we're going to look at is the back squat. So this is what you would mostly see in strength programs. It's a very traditional type of squat. What we're going to do is turn this into a performance squat and not necessarily just one for maximum weight. So we're going to take a look at Adam's positions on the bar. So the mechanics are staying the same. There's the same emphasis of core stability and that spinal curve remaining the same. The only difference is where the weight is. It's on the back, which gives a direct attachment from the hip to the weight through the middle. So what you might find is that the failing point on this squat is not necessarily your leg strength, but your core strength. And that's why it's so great for riders, because it really encourages a nice bracing position, which will help bike handling. So if you look here, the bar is resting on Adam's traps. A narrow-ish grip helps to bring up the upper back here to make a shelf for the bar. Because it's high, it's not on his neck, it's on his back, but because it's high, it means it'll be more central when Adam squats with a vertical torso. If the bar was any lower here, like a powerlifting squat, or what we call a low bar back squat, then the movement would be a lot more hingy, it would be off the quads, and it would be a different movement that's less athletic, and there's not that much then that you can put onto that, like wall balls, jumps, and other movements that will reflect better on your performance. So the foundation, the back squat is a really good foundation for other movement, and it'll make up quite a lot of your strength program if you were to follow one specifically for riding. The final squat we're going to look at is the front squat. If you can do it, then it makes a really good all-around movement for riding performance. But like Adam has had 5 clavicle fractures and a pin in his wrist, it makes it very difficult. So let's take a look at Adam, who's going to struggle to get into this front rack position. This is as good as he can get. And if you can see, there is weight onto his collarbone and his elbows aren't really high, and there's quite a lot of weight in his wrist. So ultimately, this would restrict the maximum weight that he could do, and it could also cause some discomfort in the wrists, and it's not an ideal position. So instead, what we can do is cross the arms over and hook him with the thumbs, so that then it can rest on the front of the shoulder. The torso can stay vertical, and then the bar's nicely rested, and then you can squat away as before. Yeah. So if you have got good flexibility and you can get in the positions for a good front rack, then try and get symmetrical on the bar, turn the elbows underneath so they face the front of the room, and then open your grip. So what you don't want to do is take a full grip on the bar and encourage any kind of weight on the wrists. You want full connection of the bar onto your shoulders without any kind of lifting here. So then you can push your elbows tall, brace your midline, perform your squat, and then all of that will encourage not just strength of the legs, but also a really crucial area for riding, upper mid-back strength and stability through your midline. And that's it for the MBR feature on squats. I hope you've learned a lot and you can incorporate that into your training to make you a better rider. Visit our website, fitforracing.com, for loads more free information on technique, workouts, and nutrition. Or if you want to take your riding to the next level, sign up to one of our bike sport specific programs and make you a better rider. So I've been Johnny Thompson. This is Ad Brayton. We'll see you next month. Peace.